Welcome back, YouTube. Here again with another Naruto Genshin Impact concept I've recently posted called Guided by Eternity. A story where Minato survives and through unknown means he and Naruto were transported to Inazuma. He chose to stay and protect his new home while Naruto sought the answers why. This easily won the poll, and I can't help but wonder if it was because it was a throuple with Naruto shipped with Kujou Sara and Arlecchino. Regardless, if you like this story, please hit that like button. And if you have a moment, leave a comment. This is a concept, and the more support it receives, the likelier it is to flourish into a full story. And if this is your kind of content, hit that subscribe button. Over 90% of my viewers aren't, and I would really appreciate it if you did. I'm almost at 200 and would love to smash that goal. Now let's get to Guided by Eternity. His chest was heavy. It felt like a ton of bricks laid on top of him. His breathing labored as sweat profusely dripped, but the sparkle in his eyes burned with a passionate fire that would not die, a smile on his face that would not fade despite the adversity he faced. He was born this way, he would die this way. He loved the thrill of the fight and made him feel alive. But more than that, no matter what stood before him, he would stand on his principles. He would fight for a friend in need. He was Uzumaki Naruto, damn it! Even before this sea of flames, he did not flinch. His cerulean eyes shone, an amused glint in his eyes. Staring into the darkest set of eyes, the red slashes of an X-shaped iris that furiously fumed. "Ah, is that all you got?" Naruto quipped before his face fell. "Oh shit, okay, I admit it. I shouldn't have said that. That was a step too far." The black eyes seethed, and the flames intensified. They scorched the plains and crisped where he stood as he leapt out of the way. "Are you trying to kill me?" Naruto complained, deftly landing away from the flames, cutting away at them with his katana adorned with the Electro Archon's emblem. "You know nothing about me. Understand nothing," a young lady dressed in black hissed. Her anger fueled the flames. However, with a deep breath, a calm settled and she stared blankly at Naruto. "Stand aside, or I will cut through you as I've done to everyone in my path." "Yeah, not doing that. I know enough to know this is dumb. Killing your mother isn't gonna bring her back, Peware," Naruto fired back defiantly. A fencing saber cut his cheek was her response. Naruto narrowly evading the riposte and deflecting it with his katana. Metal clanged several times as their weapons met in a dance of elegant footwork and unadulterated speed. Naruto matched Peware's every step. Every slice was a stab, was a counter of his own until their swords locked up and they came eye to eye. "I know, but I will avenge her and everyone Mother has sentenced to this fate. I will become Mother's king and turn this weapon she has forged against her," Peware declared, disengaging her saber and sliding underneath his guard, and stabbing Naruto directly in the chest. Her face twisted in agony as she delivered the blow, only for a sense of shock to replace the guilt and horror of her acts as smoke exploded around her, and to see her saber had pierced a log instead. "Is vengeance what you desire?" Peware shivered, feeling the cold edge of Naruto's katana on the nape of her neck. "Aye," Peware stuttered, struggling to find the words to say what she felt. Only to gaze back in confusion as the sword pulled away, to see Naruto smile and shake his head. "I didn't think so," Naruto exhaled before tilting his head towards the rolling plains beyond the river. "Clervy's still alive. Sarah is with her now, probably annoyed by me leaving her to take care of Clervy." Peware's eyes wavered. She stumbled back, shaking her head. That's not possible. I killed her. You did, but, well, that's a story in itself. Don't know how to explain it as I just awoke to these powers." Naruto nervously chuckled before shaking his head. "Clervy is waiting for you. She wanted to talk." "Waiting for..." Peware hiccuped, finally pulling back her saber while clutching her chest. "Yep," Naruto grinned as he sheathed his katana on his back. "Together, I think if we pull our collective thoughts together, we might have come up with a plan to save the family. Ya interested?" 1 year earlier, current time. This took utter concentration. He couldn't lapse for a moment. If he did, there would be dire consequences. The spiral of his chakra calmly swirled in his grasp. Creating the spiral and controlling that chaos was the easy part. But as flickers of flames wisped around the sphere of power, beads of sweat profusely dripped from his chin. The tricky part came when attempting to add and mix the power of his vision into that chaos. It usually ended explosively. And as the orb began to stabilize as the fire raged within, it seemed to be heading towards that direction once more. That was until a second hand settled over the orb, stabilizing the violent swirl. Cerulean eyes gazed into a set of knowing navy blue and a thin smile. "That's enough for now. I see the problem," Minato instructed his son. Naruto glowered, slowly drawing his chakra back while avoiding the flames of his vision tied to his belt to extinguish. "You better not say it's my control again." "It always is," Minato nodded, his features calm and collected. "You know why. Your chakra is not only potent, but you have an abundance of it, thanks to the Nine's Tails. Add in the volatile nature of a vision, it's not easy to mix those powers with precision control." "If he doesn't start calling me by name, I'm gonna release myself and remind him who is stronger, even if my other half is inside of him," Kurama remarked bitterly from within Naruto. Naruto put that dialogue aside for now. He would address Kurama's concerns later. Yeah, I know, but it's not easy to control it as you say. I work hard on it every day," Naruto growled, his brow twitching, seeing his father smile again. Oh, he knew why. Every time he was agitated, it reminded his father of his mother he never had met. A mother who sacrificed everything in the final moments to give him a chance of having a normal life. A life that was immediately upended by a masked idiot's stupid space and time technique, mixing with his father's. Or at least that was a simple explanation, from what his father had told him. "I know you do. A great burden was placed upon you at birth. It is difficult to measure up to that sort of legacy," Minato nodded, patting his son on his shoulder, carefully avoiding the handle of the elegantly designed katana strapped to his back. Minato gazed at the plains beyond the sacred sakura. Naruto grimaced, his eyes shifted down to stare at his hand, a small circular birthmark embedded into his palm, the mark of the sun, a mark entrusted to him by Hagoromo at Otosuki, the sage of the Six Paths. Many would think living in the shadows of someone like his father was an immense weight. A somber silence fell between father and son. Naruto's gaze fell upon the horizon, thoughts on what to come weighing on his mind. A journey he wanted to take for a long time, to see the rest of this world with his own eyes, to see if he could find a path that would lead him back to the world that he and his father were from. Naruto finally turned his attention back to his father while trying to find his resolve. "I never asked this, or really know how to ask this, about why," Naruto grimaced, trying to find his words. "About why I didn't think a way home?" Minato asked, the question on his son's mind. He simply shook his head and smiled. "I did, for quite some time when you were young. I desperately searched, but the more time passed and the older you became, the more I began to question my motivations. What reasons did I have to return? Out of a sense of duty to my country? Perhaps. Loyalty to my friends? To my students? Without a doubt," Minato asked, glancing beyond the horizon with a mixed expression. "But the more I thought, the more I questioned those oaths. Do they outweigh my duty to my family? To my dying wife's last wish to see you prosper? To let you live a life without the threat of war looming? And then what if I found a way home? What guarantees that that passage would be safe? Or what would happen if the world learned of such a passage? I don't have good answers because there isn't one. I had to choose and live with the consequences of my actions, no matter the outcome. And I can live with the choice I made." Another silence dwelt after Minato's answer. Naruto couldn't find the strength to ask anything. His father spoke with such conviction that he did not dare question him. There were so many factors to consider, and considering how analytical his father could get, he had thought this through thoroughly. And then there was her. His father could never replace his mother. She was someone special, but she eased that longing, brought him happiness. Naruto doubted his father wanted to lose a second love of his life. Let's return home, Minato gently patted Naruto on the shoulder once more. Miko has a surprise for you before you venture out on your journey. It's not another wedding proposal, is it? I don't want another disaster after the last time, Naruto squinted, throwing shade up towards the Grand Narukami shrine above. Not only did she embarrass him, but how livid Sarah was after made his life hell for weeks. His words caused Minato to howl in laughter before wiping away a tear. No, not this time. I can promise you it isn't. Can you believe anything that trickster says? She's always messing with me, Naruto scowled. That's who she is. She's quite playful and mischievous, Minato simply laughed before grimacing. Sometimes a little too playful. Naruto's heart raced as he walked behind his father on the path up the mountains, the majestic Grand Narukami shrine in view. All the while he sulked, warily gazing upon the shrine, searching for any conceivable traps. He wasn't sure what the Kitsune was plotting, but it never ended well for him. Harmless pranks his ass! The worst part was she always saw through his schemes. He could never pay her back. She always knew what he was scheming, was a step ahead, amused by his actions. Oh, he would get her one day soon. Yet, instead of lying in wait for some sort of insidious plan, the Grand Priestess stood before the shrine, waiting patiently for their arrival. My, you're late. I was beginning to worry you were going to leave without saying goodbye to me. Miko spoke, her tone sounding pained, but her smirk saying otherwise. I can't, the boat doesn't leave until tomorrow, Naruto scrunched his face. She was gonna mess with him until the end, wasn't she? Ah, you thought about it, Miko scoffed, but her fox ears drooped as she sulked. Genuine sorrow? That wasn't what he wanted. Naruto liked Miko. She was genuinely fun to be around. Didn't bat an eye at his pranks when he was a kid, and even covered for him when he may have gone a little too far. He just found her plots towards him aggravating. Come on, I only said the boat was leaving tomorrow. Cheer up, would ya? Naruto glowered before smirking. I wouldn't leave without saying goodbye. How could I miss my last chance to get you back? Oh, so that's how it is. I best be prepared, shan't I? Miko perked up instantly, her eyes gleaming with amusement, almost eager for the challenge. Okay, you two, enough playing around. Lady Shogun wishes to have an audience. She is assuredly annoyed at how long we have taken, Minato chastised his son and wife. Naruto froze. Did his father say they had an audience with... Naruto was nervous, and the grand hall of the Tenchikaku. Why was he here? Naruto glowered, throwing Miko a shaded glare. Was what she meant by making a memory? Damn it. Standing before the Raiden Shogun was always intimidating. She wasn't exactly the kindest person he knew. She was aloof and distant, known to be cold-blooded and make rash but respected decisions by the Tri-Commission. Many he didn't like, and often opposed by his father, sometimes to be overturned, for she valued Minato's opinion. And Miko had repeatedly said this was the most mellow she had been in centuries. What in the actual... I do not appreciate waiting. She does not appreciate waiting. The Shogun spoke flatly, a hint of annoyance evident in her otherwise stoic tone. Naruto gulped. The last person he wanted to irk was the Raiden Shogun. She was renowned for having a short temper. Wait, did she say she? Oh no, this was about... Why did she want to see him? The only time she wanted him was for the hell she called training. Terror engulfed Naruto as the portal to her space shimmered into existence. There were so many possibilities that he couldn't comprehend most of them. He barely knew the true Shogun. What did she want of him? Why was she summoning him? A gentle touch on his back soothed his worries, but it was not his father's. It was Miko's. Don't be afraid. Aid does not do well with farewells. Whatever trial she places before you, you will be able to overcome. She would not needlessly test you if she did not care. Miko alleviated Naruto's concern with a thin but warm smile. Just show her everything you've learned, and you'll prevail, Minato added with reassurance, with a quiet confidence. The fear that had consumed Naruto earlier faded. A simple resolve had taken its place as he looked upon his parents before gazing into the portal once again. So this is just a test. Fine. She'll get a first-hand show of just who Uzumaki Naruto is. Naruto nodded, a slim smirk gracing his lips, and he stepped through with a vote of confidence in his soul. 16 years earlier. This feeling, tumultuous. Her once peaceful domain had been transformed into a violent storm. She had something entered her realm, something powerful, something unknown. A threat, perhaps? If it were, she would not stand idly by. If it were to endanger the eternity she sought, to put the people of her realm in harm's way, she would extinguish it just like anything that stood before her. For the first time in centuries, A stepped from her domain, absolute on what she must do. Seek out this threat that imposed itself on her lands. Eliminate it by any means necessary, no matter the cost. The darkest day would not be repeated. A storm billowed with each step. Thunder and lightning crackled. Engulfing lightning sparkled with electro currents as her grip tightened. But curiosity followed. What A had found that caused the disruption was not what she expected. It was a family? What is the meaning of this? A asked as she paused, gazing down upon the scene, unable to decipher what she was a witness to. The parents were fatally wounded, protecting their child. A child primed and brimming with raw, unadulterated power that could stand before any Archon. No, any sovereign and be victorious. She did not speak about the beast that had been fragmented and caged between father and son. The beast that likely had wounded them and left them in such a frail state. Yet there was another beast, attempting to devour their souls. A bristled at the demon's presence, the deathly energy it radiated. This was a disturbing presence she had sensed. She would not stand for this invasion of her domain. You have no claim here, foul demon. This is my realm, and all return to the roots of the sacred Sakura. A tightened her grasp on the engulfing lightning. A flick of her wrist, she stepped behind the beast as if she had been there all along. An electro current tore through the demonic entity's soul and rented it asunder. Be torn from this oblivion and sent back to whence you came. A's lips quivered, sensing the presence of the entity leave, and the essence of their souls return to their bodies. She did not vanquish that entity, simply banished it from her domain. But there was something curious. The moment that creature left, the beast split between father and son and began to repair the father's wounds. He would survive, it seemed. Good. A child should not be raised without a parent. Please save my son. A desperate voice pleaded, a hand clutching at her ankles. A's lips pursed. Her eyes gazed upon the mother, who stared back up at her lifeless eyes vacant. She still hung on despite her wounds. To protect her son? This child was not only born with otherworldly power, but he was descended from a valiant lineage, a strong warrior. He would be a worthy warrior someday with a mother such as this. A would heed this woman's request. You needn't worry. Your husband will live to raise your son. The creature devouring your souls has been vanquished, and the beast is tempered within your husband and child. A spoke comforting words for the woman in her final moments, despite her stoic tone. But I will acquiesce to your request. I will place them under my ward to become my vassals. Vassals of the Electro Archon to protect them from this entity, and if it should dare cross into my domain again. Current time, this place was a torrent of mixed emotions. The violent red waves of anxiety overcame the calm violet swirls of energy. And at the center of it all, meditated the Raiden Shogun A, seated calmly awaiting his arrival. Uzumaki Naruto A's eyes stayed shut as she called out to him. Her voice, along with the electro currents pulsing through the realm, caused Naruto to shiver, if he wasn't already on edge before entering her domain. One placed in service since you and I were a newborn. You were watched over and raised in my service. Since that time, you have flourished under the guidance of your father and myself. You have become a noble and worthy warrior of Inazuma, and one day will be a fine general of its armies, A stated, before slowly rising, engulfing lightning in hand. The blade crackled with intense electro currents, and her electric purple eyes opened and sternly peered into Naruto's cerulean gaze. One wishes to leave my services and seek a path to their home? A's voice wavered, and the storm of electricity began to swell around them. Naruto, already unsteady, nerves began to fray. He didn't like where the Lady Shogun was heading with this, but his resolve steadied, his gaze locked with the Raiden Shogun's. With a simple nod, his fingertips tickled the handle of his katana. Above all else, Naruto wanted to see the world he came from with his own eyes, make his own decisions after seeing it for himself. Very well then. Come, draw your blade and wrench your life away from my grasp. Only then may you seek your answers, A simply stated, engulfing lightning readied at her side. Naruto gnashed his teeth, grasping the tsuka of his katana. Take his life from her grasp? Surely this was a jest. There wasn't a way he could defeat the Raiden Shogun. He hadn't even begun to tap into the power of the emblazoned sun pressed upon him. That was the only way he stood a chance before eternity. Brat! When have you known the Shogun to be anything other than serious? Kurama growled from within. Fuck! Naruto bit his tongue, unsheathing his katana, only to barely be able to parry A as she struck first. Naruto was unable to keep up with her movements. Her assault was as quick as it was furious. She was too fast for him. Every parry and deflection he made was purely a result of honed instinct from training with his father. He was on the back foot, but somehow he was able to avoid the end of her blade. Electroshocks and wisps of flames trailed their blades in mesmerizing display. He would have said it was a beautiful dance if he weren't on the receiving end of it. A small victory when engulfing lightning was charged with electro energy, and it was coursing through contact. He felt the shock every time it tingled through his arms, numbing them and slowing his reaction. Despite how much his vision drew strength from his will, it wasn't strong enough to overwhelm the raw power of an Archon. It wouldn't be long until he couldn't keep up. Naruto had to go on the offensive. An electro current tore through Naruto's body, bifurcating him with a single slice. A remained stoic, and with a swipe to her side, engulfing lightning was placed at Naruto's throat as a severed log crashed onto the plane's surface. Do not think such tricks will fool me, A simply stated, her gaze piercing towards Naruto's. Well, how about this one? Naruto grinned as he began to glow, and his body ignited in a vicious explosion enveloping the Shogun. She remained unamused as the smoke cleared, unharmed. Her kimono didn't even have so much as a wrinkle. A's gaze simply focused on his presence, and she turned, instantly locating Naruto, lunging towards her. An orb of raw power generated in the palm of it as he thrusted it ahead. Rasengan! Is that all? A's gaze glistened with a hint of amusement, and with a simple, effortless flick, A met the orb of raw power with the blade of engulfing lightning, slicing through it, redirecting the disrupted energy directly back towards Naruto in an explosive display. Naruto was flung back from the rupture, taking the full force of his attack and launched across the domain, rolling and skidding against the solid aura floor. But as he laid motionless from the devastating blow, A descended upon him. He smirked. All according to plan, Naruto dispersed into a plume of smoke. A katana arched towards A's neck from behind, making solid contact. What the? Naruto's gaze wavered as an arm made of pure electro energy separated his katana from A, and several other bone-like electro projections emerged from along with a massive blade. A blade that swatted him away with the utmost ease. As an enormous and frenzied electro energy pulse caught Naruto in its wave. Son of a! Naruto grunted after tumbling against the floor, regaining his balance and staring at the transformation A had undergone in shock. Kurama? This is not my fight. Deal with it yourself, Kurama laughed, highly entertained by the display. Naruto cursed, visibly sweating at the raw power the Raiden Shogun was emitting. How was he supposed to stand before this? He knew there was a gap between them, but he didn't expect it to be this massive. How did she consider his father her equal? How? Naruto grimaced. He wasn't even sure his fusion of chakra and element power from his vision could compete with this, but he had to try. Enough. The ethereal creation around A dispersed while she elegantly strolled towards Naruto, stopping directly before him, measuring him with her gaze. You have exceeded my expectations. You may journey into Teyvat, seeking the answers you desire. A bowed her head. Naruto was rooted to the spot. He was still tense from the display of power. Now the Shogun was giving him her blessing to leave? That was quite the pendulum swing of emotions. However, you are still my vassal. Your life belongs to me, A adamantly stated, her gaze staying leveled with Naruto's as she continued, ensuring he was hanging on. You are to return to me once your journey is complete, and if you so decide you wish to leave, then you must stand before the full power of eternity to earn your freedom. This had been a long day. Sitting upon the top of the Grand Narukami Shrine, gazing upon the moon, Naruto exhaled. He hadn't expected that making such a decision as to seek a path back to his world would have led to such an exchange. He still didn't know what to make of it. The Shogun claimed possession of him? Naruto knew she had saved his father's life, and in essence his. In doing so, she made them her vassals. What he struggled with was the reasoning of why Lady Shogun pushed such a trial onto him, mandating that he could only leave by taking his life from her. It was a challenge for Naruto to digest. He was aware she had lost nearly everyone she had cared for from Miko's stories of the past. But did that mean she cared for him? For his father? Was there another reason his father chose to stay? Yo! What's going up? What are you doing over there? And a loud, obnoxious voice boisterously yelled from below. A voice that belonged to the one, the only, Arataki Ito, Naruto's arch-rival, and Onikabuto battles. I thought we were going to hang out today, you know? Before you head off, Ito effortlessly leapt onto the shrine and joined Naruto, sitting beside him. Sorry, a lot's happened. Naruto grimaced, having forgotten about his plans. Nah, man, it's cool. I get it. You good? Ito laughed, waving it off. I guess. I had an audience with Eternity today to receive her blessings for my journey, Naruto explained, running his hand through his spiky locks. Ooh, that had to be rough. Glad she gave it, though. Ito grimaced from Naruto's tone before his demeanor shifted and gazing upon the moon. It's gonna be strange without you here, bud. Not sure how the rest of the gang will handle it without you here. Kinda wish I was going with you, you know? Seeing the rest of the world with my own eyes. Heh, they'll be fine. Cookie will keep them in line. She'll keep you in line, Naruto laughed and shook his head. Knowing the former Shrine Maiden was hardwired differently, he never expected her to join the Uzumaki and Arataki gang. What do you mean by that? You want to go? Ito glowered and cracked his knuckles. Oh, you don't want this smoke. Not right now, Naruto grinned. His eyes glistened with excitement. That's it! You're asking for it! I'll show you just who numero uno is! Ito jumped down from the shrine, beckoning Naruto to follow. He knew better than to fight here. The last time they caused damage to the shrine, Ito shivered. He never wanted to be on Miko's bad side again. Keep dreaming, Naruto followed suit, cracking his neck and preparing for a fight. Need I remind you who you are dealing with? I am Uzumaki Naruto, the best there is. You better believe it. The sun rays tingled his skin. The morning dew from the grass felt fantastic. Naruto's body dripped with sweat as he laid on the grass, watching the sun rise while he caught his breath, with Ito doing the same nearby. See? Told ya! No one's better than me, Naruto laughed, his nerves calmed and his muscles relaxed. Sometimes he just needed a good fight to release his frustrations. He didn't care who judged him for it. He was pretty sure someone was watching them, and they felt annoyed. Why could he feel that? What are you blabbing about? I ain't done yet. I just need a few moments to catch my breath, that's all. Ito groaned, his breathing labored as he failed to sit up. Ow, 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 everything hurts. Naruto's laughter only intensified, much to Ito's chagrin. Ito scowled before finally joining his friend. Damn, you better come back after all this. Can't let this one go. One day I'll beat your ass. I look forward to it, Naruto grinned, slowly sitting up to greet whomever was waiting. Sara? Why are you here? I figured Miko or my dad would come for me. They aren't the ones who have to travel with you, now are they? Sara bitterly retorted, glancing at Naruto. And already you are being quite the hassle. Spending the entire night with this delinquent ruffian. Who are you calling a ruffian? Yo, bring that smack over here and I'll show you just who a ruffian. Ito roared, still unable to sit up. Further proving my point, Sara glowered, giving Ito a cold glare before huffing, throwing the same shade at Naruto. Are you done here? It's almost time to leave. Yeah, I was almost ready, Naruto frowned, meeting Sara's gaze. However, what are you on about traveling with me? I was heading out by myself. No, you are not. By the decree of the Shogun, I am assigned to be your guide during your journey away from Inazuma, Sara simply stated, her frigid stare piercing into Naruto. Naruto blinked. He repeatedly blinked, flabbergasted, before he scowled. Somehow he felt Miko was responsible for this. Of course you are. Naruto rolled his eyes and palmed his face, releasing a pitiful sigh. Why am I not surprised? His stomach felt horribly twisted as if it were tied into knots. Naruto didn't think this was going to be so difficult. He recalled the feelings he had many times when his father would leave for extended periods when he was younger, undoubtedly on a similar journey as he was embarking upon. However, this felt different. It hit different. Was this how it felt for his father every time he left? Left Miko after their marriage? You'll be fine. Naruto's anxiety waned as he felt Minato lay his hand supportively on his shoulder. I have faith in you. You will find the answers you seek. Gazing upon his father, Naruto felt more at ease. His words were simple, but they were straight to the point. His voice secured, undaunted by boundless possibilities. And that confidence reassured Naruto, only for him to be smothered in Miko's embrace. I'm going to miss you so much. Miko, on the verge of tears, tightly embraced Naruto before finally releasing him. Even if you find a way back, please come back to us at least one last time, okay? I will, Naruto answered, biting his lip. Miko was typically so composed. To see her like this was almost broke him. But despite that, Naruto found the conviction to move forward, giving one last smile as he waved to his parents, as he stepped across the plank to join Sara on board. You haven't seen the last of me. And that's a promise. And that is part 1 of this What If. I do hope you enjoyed. Please remember, this is a concept and it needs support to see life. The more feedback I hear, the better chance it will receive updates in the future. So until next time, my friends, peace.